When you open the Supabase website, you'll be asked to sign in. So I've already signed in and I've been presented with this web page. So all I just need to do right now is click on Start New Project. When you click on Start New Project, you'll be redirected here. So all you just need to do is click on New Organization. This part. When you click on New Organization, this will be opening for you. So now you need to give your a name. So let me give it a name of, let's say, give it a name of, let's say, super base. You can name it anything that I want, but I want mine to be what, super base. So you leave every setting as default, and this aspect you will see that the plan is free. So you click on create organization. The moment you click on create organization, you see that a new thing will be presented to you so that you can name okay, it have opened for us. So here, since we created our organization name, here they are asking us our project name. So you can give our project any name that you want. So let me just give my project name, let's say tutorials. Okay, tutorial. And after that, you need to set a password. So I'm going to set a password of, let's say, 12345. Okay, it's not strong enough, so let me give it a password of my name. Okay, Latif 12345. Okay, so the password is Latif 12345. But don't forget, when I finish, I'll basically delete the database so that you won't be able to get access to it. So basically, let's click on create new project. The moment you click on create new project, you'll see that we'll be presented with this page. And if you take a close look at this page really carefully, you could see that we have project API key, and below the project API key, you could see that we have public, we have public, and we also have service rule. In this tutorial, this public key and also this secret key is what we'll be using for our connection between our Next.js and also our our Supabase. So with regards to this part, I won't close this aspect for now because I'll be referring here to pick some items here. So afterwards, you could see that within some 5 minutes, the page will reload by it will reload itself. Basically, when it reload, it's basically creating our our Firebase project for us. So when you scroll downwards, you could see that still our this thing is being laid down here, and you could see that they have given us a JavaScript way of implementing this Supabase in our Next.js. So with regards to this, all we just need to do is install our Next.js. All we just need to do is install our SPK, our Supabase SDK in our Next.js. Now we need to open our Next.js project. This is our Next.js project. You can see that in our Next.js project, this is basically our home page, and you could see that in our home page, I just type hi. So when you save it and opened our browser and refresh, you could see that hi have been displayed on our screen, but you could see that it has stopped loading because I have already stopped the server. So if you want to start the server, but before we start the server, I want us to install the Supabase SDK before we run our server. So all we just have to do is type npm I at supabase/supabase.js. That's basically the SDK package for Supabase. So after that, we just click on enter and wait for our Supabase SDK to be downloaded in our Next.js. Okay, after our Supabase SDK have been installed in our Next.js, now let's clean our terminal. For now, all we just have to do is come out of our directory where our tailwind and also our package.json is being placed. Now, all you just need to do is come out of all our folders and click on file, and we need to create a file, and the file name I will give the file name of, let's say, Supabase, but you can name it anything that you want. So Supabase, and I'll give it an extension of JS. Oh no, I'll give it an extension of TXS. Now click on enter. You could see that our file has been created. But look at where our file is being located. Our file is not being located in any of the folder, but outside of the folder where exactly the package.json file is being located. So now let's open our page and copy this aspect. Let's just copy this aspect. Now let's come to our file. Now let's paste it. You could see that in this the code that we copied, you could see that we import our client's package from our supabase.js. So it's with regards to this client package, it takes in some parameters, and the first parameter is the URL, and also the second parameter is what our secret password. So you could see that they have already implemented our URL here for us. So when they have already implemented our URL here for us, so all we just need to do is go to our website. You could see that here is our URL, and you could see that we have our API key here. So click on copy, and all we just need to do is replace this with our secret password this way. This can be done this way, but for the sake of security reasons, I won't be doing it this way, but rather I'll be creating an environment I'll be creating an environment file that will help us secure our server from hackers. So let me undo this. Now let me just leave the name as it is. Now let me create another file, call it .env. Then now that's the name of the file. Then afterwards, all I just need to do is paste my password here. But before that, let me go to my supabase.ts file and look out for the name. So the name is supabase_key. So all I just have to do is type supabase_key, then equals, then pass my string. Now pass my string variable here. When you pass my string variable here and now save this our file and now open here, you could see that our error is being okay. So let me change the extension from the name from env.local for me to see something. Okay, then afterwards let me check something pretty well here. Check something pretty well here. No, let me go back and copy my environment secret key. Now let me paste it. Let me paste it here, and let me paste it here like this. Okay, it's supposed to be this way. All we just have to need to do is call the Supabase, give it a name, and also let's move to our home page. So with regards to this aspect here, with regards to our Supabase, we have already set up our Supabase. So all we just need to do now is move to our Supabase website and create our database. So here is our Supabase project created. So we'll now go to the left side and send our mouse pointer here. You could see that table editor. Now we'll click on the table editor, and now you click on create a new table. When you click on create a new table, you will be asked to give the table a name. So let me give it a name of, let's say, YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Then leave everything as default, or if you want, okay, leave everything as is expected to be up there. All we need to do now is take into consideration this aspect, which is our colon. With regards to this, we need to add our colon or the number of items we want to be in our table. first of all, I want us to display an image name and also the image itself. So I'll give the first field of our table to be, let's say, name, and our second, this will be image. Okay, or image underscore URL. So let's take into consideration the type of thing that we need to take into consideration. With regards to the name, since a name is going to be string, so you select it and look for var char. Basically, it represents a variable and a character. And the URL also, I'll choose the var char because it refers to a variable and also text. But you can change this aspect to your preference, because if you are dealing with numbers, you need to select, we have int here and we also have, I think, yeah, we have float here. So, but since mine is going to be text, so I'll just click on what? Varchar. So afterwards, you click on save. When you click on save, you will see that our database is being created with our column. So you could see that our database have been created here for us. Our first element was our index, our second element was our name, and our third element was what? Our image URL. So with regards to this, I'm just going to search on Google to get our image of, let's say, a pizza. Okay, image of, let's say, a pizza. Let me go to images. Okay, I'll click on this one. Let me check the image out. Okay, open it in a new table. So this is the image I want us to display it on our screen. So now when we open our Supabase, all we just need to do here is, since we want to insert rows into this our table, or we want to insert rows into our table, you click on insert. Now we select insert row. Now when you select insert row, you could see that this have been presented with us, telling us that we need to give it a name. So our name is pizza, and also the URL. So the URL I have let me copy this URL and basically paste it here. Now let me click on save. Now when you click on save, you will see that our image have been given here by giving our first element 1 and also the name, which is pizza, and this is basically our URL. So if you want to insert another row, you just click on insert and click on row. But for the sake of this tutorial, since I'm going to focus on how to get data from Supabase, I'll pause here, and all I'll just do now is head towards into our code editor. But before that, there are another way for us to get things done here. After creating our table, we have to add policy, because if you don't add policy, it won't work. So now click on policy. After clicking on policy, we will see that you will see create policy. Now you click on create policy, and you don't change anything here because I want all my things to be inserted. But if only you want to select here, you have to choose the preferred thing that you want here, because we have select here, we have insert, we have update, we have delete, and we also have all here. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to select all, because we only want to read data from our Supabase. So all we just need to do here in our last aspect with regards to using, I normally type true here. So type true here. Now click on, no, we need to give the policy a name. So let me give the policy name of, let's say, YouTube. But you can, let me just give it a name of YouTube. But you can give it any name that you want. So now click on save policy. You'll see that our policy have been saved. After our policy have been saved, you need to go to our code editor again. Now click on our table. Our table name is YouTube. Now you will see that our policy have basically been assigned to this data, this table, because if you don't do that, it won't work. So I'm going to show you how to get things done really easy here. So all you just have to do here, on your right hand corner, you will see that there is a button here that tells us that API docs. When you click on API docs, this document basically gives us all what we need in order to get accession with what our Supabase. So since I'm going to take, or I'm going to select all my data, all I will just do here is copy this aspect of the code, and now move to my home page of my Next.js. So now let me paste it here. When you paste it here, you will see that an error will be implemented here because our Supabase was not imported. So all I just have to do is import my Supabase. So I'll import my Supabase as Supabase. No, I'll import my Supabase this way. Okay, all I need to do is import my Supabase. No, it's not giving me the exact way of importing Supabase. So now let me import it myself. So import, the name is super, since I'm basically importing this my file, which is Supabase. But before that, I start implementing this aspect of the code. I forgot to export my Supabase. That's why I'm not able to import it simply. So all you just have to do is import this variable, import default, the variable name is Supabase. Now let's save it. Now let me open my home page. Now let me try importing it and see what happened. So control enter. Okay, you could see that now it has pulled itself in because I basically exported. But if I did not export it, you will see that it won't show here. So all I need here to do is that you could see that this is also giving me an alert. So all I need to do is turn this function into what, an async function. So I just click on the await, and you see that I'll click on this icon here and click. You see that my function have returned into what, an async function. So all I need to do now is, you will see that our Supabase tells us to fetch data from our from our YouTube, and this YouTube is basically our table. It's basically this table. So the table name is YouTube, and yeah, and this is the table. The table name is basically YouTube, and all it's saying is basically to fetch all the information. That's why they said dot select. So dot select the star means select all. So for us to display our information, I will just console.log my YouTube here, and this YouTube basically represent this YouTube because here it's telling us the data, and the data is in the form of YouTube, and this is basically the error. So I want to console log this rather than this. So you are console logging the YouTube. So afterwards, when you save our file, now let me run my server, npm run dev. Now wait for our server to finish running, and let's open the okay 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 our server have basically started running. So I'll control click on this URL. When control, I don't want to open it in this aspect, so I'll open it here. So this is, so basically you move to basically localhost 3000. So now let me right click, go to inspect. When I move to inspect and go to console, you will see that an element has been displayed, an array, and when you right click on it, you will see that an item have been displayed with an index of 0. So you will see that my item name is here, my index name is 1, and also my image is here. So now let me display my item on the screen. So let me give a loop through my element, which is my variable youtube.map, since it is an array. So you loop through the array and give it an arrow function, and in between here let me give my h1 tag, let me give it an item and also an index. So here I'll just basically type um item dot name. Okay, item dot name here. Now let me save it. Now let me open my browser. Now let me refresh. You will see that my name is being displayed here as what? As pizza. Alright. Now I need to implement my image in my Next.js page. So let me implement an image, or let me display my image. So my file is a self-closing tag. So image, then I'll give it a source of item dot image underscore URL. So now when you save it, you will see that nothing actually works. So let me encompass it with a div element, and now let me save it. Now when I save it and open my browser and refresh, you could see that I'm still getting this warning, and this warning is basically telling me to give me a height and width of my image. So let me give my image a width of, let's say, 200, and a height of, let's say, okay, I give the first one 150, 120. So let me give it a height of, let's say, 150. So when I save it and open my browser and refresh, you will see that there is another warning, and this warning is basically telling me let me see, invite source for, okay, since Next.js is much concerned uh, about this thing, uh, rendering image on our server, all I just need to do is incorporate this aspect into my config file. So what I need to do here in config file and paste this into my next config file, and also all I just need to do is add image and give it a domain, and the domain name that I need to copy is here. So you could see the host. So you copy the domain name and just basically paste it here. Now when we save it and now open our browser and now wait for it to load, when you refresh, you could see that nothing happens, because we need to stop our server. Okay, we did not stop our server, but you could see that our image is being displayed here. So let me zoom in a little. Okay, you could see that the name is pizza, and you could see my image being displayed here. So basically this is how to access